I'm appointing you to take charge of all matters concerning the divorce settlement, Mike. I signed the documents, and right then, I got a phone call. It was the police station. Frank, your new household registration book and ID card are ready. When I went to the station to pick up the paperwork, the young man behind the counter paused for a second before he spoke. Excuse me, are you a Mr. Frank? Everyone in M City knows that the heiress, Ilara, has a husband she loves very much named Rick. I smiled and shook my head, denying it. The Rick from that world is gone. I am Frank now. While I was waiting for an eye checkup at the hospital, the television in the room was showing an interview with Ilara. She was usually very calm and collected, but her voice cracked when she spoke about me. Rick went blind trying to save me in a fire, she said. And now he can never go back to the stage he loves. I've decided to devote the rest of my life to protecting and cherishing him with all my heart. Seeing him struggle with daily life when he could have been gliding on his toes on stage, it just tears me apart. I overheard a nurse nearby talking enviously. Ilara married Rick Warren right after college, even though her family was completely against it. After they got married, she showed off their love so much it seemed brighter than the stars. I froze for a moment, tightening my grip on the bench. Everyone in M City knew that the rich Ilara saw her husband as more important than her own life. When my parents divorced in high school, my stepmother immediately kicked me out. I collapsed in the snow, and it was Ilara who found me, saved me, and took me in. She fed me, gave me clothes, paid for my schooling, and even supported my dream of learning ballet. I lost my eyesight saving her during that fire. Ilara never left my side. She married me right after I graduated, going against her whole family. One cold December, she knelt all night in the snow, wearing only a thin dress just to get her family, the Wilsons, to accept me. They finally gave in, and she ended up in a hospital bed with a fever, clutching that engagement ring tightly. Ilara knew that because of my broken family background, I was always too scared to truly commit to a relationship. After all, I had seen my own father bring his mistress home, leaving my mother heartbroken. On our wedding day, Ilara knelt on one knee, her face sincere. Rick, I promise to spend my entire life loving and cherishing you. There will never be betrayal or lies between us, and I will be faithful to you forever. Ilara kept her word, giving me endless care and attention over 5 years of marriage. But the day my vision came back, I caught her and my stepbrother Sam wrapped up together at home. That's when I understood. Sam visiting was just an excuse for him and my wife to continue their affair. And Ilara, every single time she lovingly offered to pick up my medicine, it was just so she could spend more time alone with Sam. I kept my sight recovery a complete secret, pretending not to see the two of them boldly kissing right in front of me with blurry vision. I broke a glass and cut my hand on the shards. Ilara quickly rushed over, worried, and grabbed my hand. At that moment, the pain inside me was far worse than the bleeding cut. I didn't expose their cheating. I kept pretending I was blind while secretly preparing to one day leave Ilara. After I left the hospital, I found a new email. Mr. Frank, we've seen your performance videos. Even though you've been off the stage for a while, we're confident we can make the stage shine together with you. We're waiting for you in Paris. I had quietly applied for an internship with a ballet company in France, and now they were welcoming me. Before I lost my sight, the company had reached out to me when I was a shining star on stage. Back then, I never considered leaving Ilara, so I refused without hesitation. But now, it was Ilara who forced this decision on me. Thanks. I'll arrive in Paris in a week. See you then. I took the ring off my finger, feeling free from all burdens. No more arguments, drama, or tearful apologies for me. I want to disappear from Ilara's world, for her to feel completely powerless even with all her influence in M City. I want her to spend the rest of her life feeling regret. I put on my sunglasses and tucked the ring into my bag. 7 days from now, there will be no more Rick in this world. As soon as I got home, Ilara rushed to me anxiously. "Rick, where were you? Why didn't you answer your phone?" She frowned, taking the bag from my hands. I noticed she was wearing different clothes than before, and they smelled like a laundry detergent that wasn't ours. I forced a smile and handed her the fake diagnostic sheet. I went for my eye checkup. The doctor said things aren't looking too great. Ilara helped me to the couch, carefully putting a warm cup of water in my hand. "How could you just run out on your own? Do you know how worried Ilara was?" Sam emerged from our bedroom, still wearing my pajamas. His unbuttoned collar revealed several hickeys. His tempting gaze was fixed on Ilara beside me. I pretended not to notice, just identifying the voice with my ears. "When did Sam get here?" But inside, I squeezed the cup even tighter, a sharp pain piercing my heart at this sight. "Mom asked me to bring some supplements for you. They're good for your eyes. You need to recover your sight soon. The dance association in M City just gave me the lead dancer spot, which was all yours." Sam's gentle manner and bright smile made his words feel like a blade stabbing straight into my chest. I stayed silent, deep in thought. I knew Sam's talent. He could never deserve the lead dancer spot. His growing opportunities over the past year made me suspect Ilara might be helping him behind the scenes. "All right, I've got some work to do at the company. I'll go now." Ilara put vitamins beside me and thoughtfully prepared some fruit. "Rick, you rest at home. I'll come back early to keep you company." Then she gave my stepbrother a knowing glance. He understood immediately. "The dance troupe also has practice today, so I'm heading out as well." I warmly waved them off. Watching Sam wrap Ilara in his arms, I waited a moment, then looked down from the balcony to where Ilara parked her car. The two hadn't walked far before they were passionately kissing, and soon Sam cradled Ilara and laid her on the car's back seat, leaning in. After I quickly took a few photos and sent them to Mike, they still hadn't closed the car door, and the vehicle was softly swaying. Fighting to control my breathing, the dull ache in my heart twisted into a sharp knife, leaving me breathless. Ilara and I had known each other for 10 years, married for 5. I had no doubt she would be the one I'd share my life with. But the woman who vowed to love me forever let her promises disappear in just 5 short years. I wiped away my tears and turned toward Ilara's study. I punched in the code to her safe like it was second nature. Inside were a few contracts, all the top ballet resources, including the lead role promised to me by the Dance Association, were now handed over to Sam as a gift from Ilara. Maybe she thought since I went blind, I'd never be on stage again. But the contract at the bottom, it was signed 2 years ago. Back then, I hadn't lost my sight. I was still taking the ballet stage by storm. I lost the lead role for the one show I cared about, La Bayadère, just a day before the performance, and they replaced me with Sam. The director had said Sam was better suited for the part. I looked at my body covered in bruises from rehearsals and cried through the night, finally sitting in the audience and applauding my brother. Watching my despair, Ilara's eyes had gone red, and her voice was husky, filled with care. "Rick, it'll be okay. There'll be another chance." Her facade was so convincing it had me fooled. It turns out the one who stabbed me in the back was the person I trusted and relied on the most, my partner. It seems like their affair had begun a long time ago. I thought I would fall apart, crying hysterically, but seeing it with my own eyes made me realize the silence of despair was the mark of a truly broken heart. "Rick, Today marks our 5th anniversary. Elara came over with flowers, her right hand holding luxury shopping bags. She took out a watch and put it on me. This watch suits you. I customized it just in time for our anniversary. I felt the watch on my wrist and smiled at her. The signed divorce papers were set aside in a beautiful gift box, which I handed to her. Elara, this is my gift to you. Her face lit up with excitement, and she eagerly moved to untie the ribbon. Open it in a week. It's a surprise. I stopped her, my expression calm. All right, I'll listen to you, Rick. She placed the box in the display cabinet, then took my hand. I've made reservations. We're celebrating there tonight. We spent every anniversary at Rose Restaurant. Elara said the spot was perfect. You could see all of M-City's night view from the window. She even planned a magnificent fireworks display at 8:00 p.m. Though I couldn't see it, the sound helped me picture the momentary splendor against the black sky. On our way, Elara set me in the passenger seat and went to the trunk to get a blanket. I noticed a thin sheet of paper tucked into the door pocket. Elara's pregnancy test results. She was pregnant with Sam's child. Since losing my sight, we rarely got intimate. Whenever she kissed my eyes, I'd awkwardly pull away. She wasn't upset, just held me, breathing heavily, and placing tender kisses on my forehead. Rick, don't worry. I'm here for you. What I didn't provide, she gave to Sam. My breath caught as I put the paper back. Her phone was connected to the car's Bluetooth, and I turned to see her standing at the back, texting. I opened her chat. It was Sam's. I'm coming with you. Don't be silly. It's Rick's and my anniversary. Stay home. I'll come over after dinner. I was there last time too, right at the next table. He won't find out. No wonder last anniversary Elara kept finding reasons to leave the table. After a pause, she agreed. Fine. We'll go first. You take a cab. I laughed quietly as I shut off the screen. That blanket took her 10 minutes. Not that she was looking for it, but where her heart lingered. Dinner was tasteless. Elara soothed me with words while stealing glances at Sam at the next table. 8:00 came, and the fireworks began. Sam edged towards the window, but I turned to the night, keeping a tight grip, refusing to reveal anything. Fireworks, like bright stars, lit up the darkness with radiant colors. My heart clenched painfully numb. I watched my name, once spelled in light against the sky, now erased. Out of the corner of my eye, Sam threw himself into Elara's arms. They embraced and kissed, unaware of my blurred vision in the chaos. Memories of our first anniversary flooded back. Elara hugged me from behind in this very spot, her love spilling from her eyes. She'd said, "Every year, I'll light the most spectacular fireworks just for you. I'll show the world, Rick, that you're my one true love." A decade of moments seemed like a dream. I lived in an illusion of love created by Elara. Now awake, it's time for me to leave. My new ID and passport are ready, and tomorrow I'll fly to Paris. The following morning, I calmly sat and made breakfast, preparing Elara's portion too. "Rick, why are you up so early?" Elara came out, seeing the food ready. She hesitated only a moment, then hurried to me, holding my hand. There were small cuts from unfamiliarity with knives and burns from splattered oil. "You can't even see." "Why? Cook Lisa will be here soon. Doesn't this hurt?" She gently held my hand, a few tears falling onto it. With another glance, her eyes were already red. Her acting was so perfect that if I hadn't seen for myself, I'd never believe the woman who claimed to love me more than anything was unfaithful. "I'm fine. Just thought I'd cook. It's been a while. I'd already told Lisa to come by later. By then, I'd be out of M City. I tried to pull my hand away, but she took it to the living room, applying ointment. My husband's hands are too beautiful to mark. Looking at Alara's focused head, I almost blurted out and asked her why. Luckily, I held back. While she went to fetch bandages, I saw a message from Sam on her phone. Heaven Hotel, room 1012. When Alara returned, I acted indifferent. Alara, your phone went off earlier. I think I might have brushed it while checking. She caught sight of Sam's bold, explicit photo. She quickly picked up her phone, pausing for a moment, then relaxed, as staring at my blank eyes seemed to reassure her. I kept a calm face, though my hands trembled. The hospital messaged, I'll go get your new meds. You wait at home. I'll be back soon. Alara gently caressed my hair. Quite an effort on their part, meeting at a hotel so early to maintain the facade. Alara, goodbye. My unusual words puzzled her a bit, but she smiled. Rick, wait for me to come back. The door clicked shut, and I breathed. Wait for her? Never again. I quickly packed my bags, gathered everything related to me at home, and contacted the junkyard to pick them up. Sitting in the taxi heading to the airport, I received a message from Sam. I knew Alara was pregnant with his kid. It was only natural for him not to want to just be a sidekick anymore. Sam sent tons of intimate photos and chat logs of the two of them, including Alara's pregnancy test results. I swiped through the messy pictures one by one. My chest felt a dull ache, but it didn't hurt as much anymore. Until I saw the chat logs from a month after I went blind. Alara couldn't wait to transfer my resources to Sam. On the first day they broke the taboo, the woman I loved deeply, my wife, was involved with my stepbrother shortly after I lost my sight to save her. Remember to open the gift when you get home. After sending Alara this last message, I took out my SIM card and threw it in the trash. As the flight announcement blared, I took one last look at the sign for M City. From now on, Rick no longer exists in this world. I'm Frank. Alara looked down at the message from Rick, sent a few responses urging him to sleep early and saying she'd return tomorrow. There was no response from his side, so she guessed he had fallen asleep. Since losing his sight, Rick's moods were often sullen, and his health wasn't great, but his routine was steady. Upon getting the test results, Alara was both shocked and delighted. Delighted because she's always wanted a child. Shocked because she never expected it to be Sam's. They had a few intimate encounters under Sam's charming attempts, but her child had to be Rick's. To her, Sam was just a fling. Her husband would always be her husband. Alara stood by the window, not exactly happy. What if Rick found out? Her brow suddenly twitched as she thought of Rick's gentle, obedient demeanor. No, he wouldn't find out. Alara, what do you think about the kid? Sam was uneasy with her reaction, thinking she'd be more excited. That blind brother of his was not only in poor health, but also resisted intimacy. Sam knew this, so he seduced Alara more, hoping one day the child would let him climb up in status. But it was clear Alara wasn't interested in that. Her face clouded, her voice cold. You've been worn out recently. Take a break and skip dancing for now. As for the child, we'll talk about it later. She was already figuring out an excuse, claiming adoption. After all, Rick couldn't see or know she was pregnant. Now I'm heading home. Let's not meet for a while. Why? Sam felt aggrieved, biting his lip, about to cry. I need to take care of Rick, too. Haven't I spent enough time with you already? Alara dodged. I'll visit you in a few days. Be good. Sam dared not stop her, having lots of grievances against that brother. When is that sickly brother going to get a divorce? He scrolled through their chat with no replies from Rick. The car sped home. Alara looked at the dark balcony, thinking Rick was already asleep. Lisa, the maid, welcomed her with a light. Alara handed over her coat, casually asking, "Is Rick asleep yet?" Lisa was surprised and stammering. "No. He messaged me this morning to come back later tonight. When I arrived, no one was home. I thought you both had other plans." With every word, Alara's eyes darkened. Did he say anything else? Nothing more. Lisa's face turned pale, fearing she might upset the woman before her. "Okay, you can go." Alara dialed Rick's number, clutching the phone, her expression turning darker. She waited a few seconds, but only got the automated voicemail of a shut-off phone. As she hurriedly went upstairs, she called her assistant, Jessica. "Check all of Rick's call records now. Look into his documents. See if there are any immigration records." Alara's voice was colder than ever, but a fierce aura surrounded her. There weren't many places Rick could go. After all, he couldn't see. Where could he run to? With that thought, an impossible notion slowly surfaced in her mind. "Also, check the hospital diagnostics. I want all the results of his recent rechecks. Hurry up." Recently, Rick had been going to his rechecks alone. She only saw the reports he brought back. She always thought he couldn't see, indulging in her intimacy with Sam. But what if he could see again? A headache throbbed in Alara's head as she forcefully pushed open the bedroom door. Inside was pitch black. The bed was neat and clean. Shaking, she turned on the light and found their framed photo missing from the nightstand. Her anxiety grew, rushing to check all the rooms one by one. Rick's clothes were gone. His toiletries were gone. Even their wedding photo in the living room was gone. She stormed into the study, finding the spot for her safe slightly moved. Numbly, she entered Rick's birthday, and sure enough, the contracts were all rearranged. For a moment, she felt her blood freeze. Rick might know everything. Alara opened the chat with Rick, seeing a message about a gift. Of course, the anniversary gift. Alara broke the locked display cabinet. Even as her hand bled, she didn't feel the pain. She opened the delicately packaged gift box. Inside was a single piece of paper she didn't dare look at. But she had to. The glaring words, "divorce agreement," were right there. On the last page, he'd already signed his name. Alara stared at his neat handwriting, feeling a sharp pain in her heart, suddenly remembering he hadn't been wearing his wedding ring for days now. A sticky note was attached with Mike's number saying, "This is my lawyer's number. She'll handle the divorce matters with you." Just then, Jessica's call came back. "Sam sent some photos and chat logs to Mr. Rick a few hours ago." She received files from Jessica, opening to find indiscreet evidence of their affair. Alara's vision darkened, almost fainting. She drove straight to Sam. Sam sleepily opened the door. Seeing her, his drowsiness vanished. He was overjoyed, hugging her and whining like usual. "Alara, why'd you come back?" Before he could finish, Alara slapped him. Sam was in pain, feeling dizzy, turning back to face a furious Alara. "What's wrong with you?" He was dazed, unsure how she seemed like a completely different person in just a few hours. Alara grabbed his chin. "Sam, didn't I tell you to keep our affair from Rick, right?" Her face darkened, a storm brewing. Sam's expression changed, thinking maybe Rick had... Alara read the messages to him. But how could Rick know? Seeing Sam deep in thought, her anger boiled over. She slapped him again without mercy. The boy's fair cheeks swelled instantly, blood seeping from his mouth. Without the strength from Alara, he stumbled and fell hard onto the ground. Sam, propping himself up, looked at Alara with a bit of frustration. Alara, he couldn't see her. How could he discover what had happened? You still have our child in your belly. Please don't get angry. It's not good for the baby. He bowed down and made a pleading gesture. Alara looked down at him coldly and let out a mocking laugh. Rick probably could see a long time ago. The next moment, Alara kicked Sam hard in the chest. With one kick, Sam was thrown to the ground, and Alara's belly suddenly hurt. When she felt a warm sensation below, Alara's face turned pale. Seeing Alara's pained expression, Sam pleaded desperately. Alara, it's my fault. I didn't know any better, but please go to the hospital. Save our child, won't you? Tears mixed with blood flowed down his cheeks, and Sam kept hitting his head on the floor. But Alara didn't soften a bit, her face white and gloomy. I'm only dealing with you for Rick's sake, and I'd only have his kids. Do you think you deserve it? I can't believe you can't see reality and still think you can replace him. From now on, the ballet company will no longer use you. And the unwanted child inside me, I will not keep. Her face was pale, and beads of sweat dripped down from her forehead. Sam saw this, and his face turned even whiter. Alara, I can stop dancing, but please save our child. It's half your flesh and blood, too. Trash like that, something from you, doesn't deserve to be called my child. Alara gasped, holding back nausea, and finally said, I'll go to the hospital now. And if the kid's gone, great. If it's still there, I'll arrange for an abortion. As for you, since you like spreading your seed, I'll send you someplace more suitable. Jessica's name flashed on the screen. She slowly crawled to the bathroom and picked up the phone. Alara, Rick, his sight, it was restored 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. He could see 2 weeks ago. Alara's breathing stopped. Her heart missed a beat. So he'd been able to see all along. He saw the absurdity before her, saw the resources she gave Sam, saw the fireworks she set off for Sam. She slowly relaxed her hand, where the skin and flesh had turned grim and terrifying. Rick knew about her betrayal, yet he hid it so well, not a hint of anger or sadness exposed. How devastated his heart must have been, how disappointed he must have been in her. Alara had never hated herself as much as she did at this moment, and the overwhelming regret seemed to swallow her whole. She dared not think from Rick's perspective how her actions were like being tortured by a killer. Alara choked up a bit, her eyes red. Jessica listened to the sounds on the other side, nervously continuing. I checked all his records. The police station said he's probably changed his name. There's no trace of Rick anywhere. Hearing this, Alara could no longer hold herself up and collapsed into a pool of blood. When I first landed in Paris, the ballet company's lead dancer greeted me warmly. Zephra was filled with ballet dancers from around the world, all sharing common dreams and striving together. At first, dealing with the time difference and heartache, I found it hard to adjust, having trouble falling asleep. After taking melatonin to finally get some rest, I'd often dream all night about various moments with Alara. Waking up in the middle of the night, my face would be wet with tears. Eventually, I stopped trying to sleep, spending nights alone at the dance studio, practicing until I was tired enough to crash on the couch. Thankfully, my fellow dancers were friendly and helpful, assisting me when I struggled with unfamiliar moves, helping me endure a difficult time. I gradually adapted to the intense practice and performance lifestyle, and I felt more energetic than ever. The wounds I once thought unbearable slowly healed with time. I got a new number, and the only person who could reach me was Mike, who handled my divorce case. 2 weeks after arriving in Paris, Mike called me. "Frank, Elara wants to speak with you personally." "No need." The sun was shining as a gentle breeze ruffled my hair. My mind was preoccupied with dance routines I had just learned. "She can tell me once she's signed the divorce papers, and I'll come back to arrange the proceedings." Mike felt a bit troubled. "But she insists on seeing you once before agreeing to the divorce." "No problem. We can drag it out," I smiled, unconcerned. "If she doesn't sign the papers, she won't find me. Besides, I'm not afraid to take it to court. We have proof of her cheating." Mike seemed relieved upon hearing this. "I'll pass your message on to her." He sincerely added, "Frank, you've changed a lot since our first meeting. You're now confident and carefree, truly living for yourself." "Thanks." I hung up and rubbed my hands, feeling the Paris air grow a little colder. After practice, a girl from the company invited me for dinner. We sat in a restaurant and ordered our favorite dishes. "Frank, your movements are beautiful. Your technique is precise, yet uniquely yours. Which company did you dance with before?" Melody said, adding more food to my bowl, her expression cheerful and warm. "I was in M City before." Melody was curious. "Then why the gap in your dancing career? You seem to love ballet a lot." I paused for a moment, then smiled openly. "I survived a fire 2 years ago, but I was blinded. I only recently regained my sight a few months ago." Melody showed no awkwardness. Instead, she laughed brightly. "Then what do you call that? Where there's a will, there's a way." Her positive attitude was infectious, filling me with warmth. Even though I went through emotional betrayal and deceit, I regained my sight, decisively leaving the lies behind, and could once again do what I loved. Isn't that a form of luck, too? Feeling a lump in my throat, I raised my drink to toast with Melody. "You're right. I feel reborn now." Getting the response from Mike, Elara sat hopelessly on the couch. There was no turning back now. She knew Rick was determined to get away from her. She drank one cup after another, ignoring her friend's attempts to stop her. She hoped to numb her aching heart with alcohol, yet memories of better times would still emerge. Elara suddenly recalled their wedding day. Rick knelt on one knee, his eyes full of her. Back then, she never imagined she would cheat. She professed her love straightforward and passionate. Betrayal and deceit were things she'd never considered. When did she forget her original intentions? First, she was genuinely touched. She never expected someone to risk their life in a burning building to save her. She felt sorry for Rick, wishing she could trade places and take his blindness. But over time, their mundane life grew dull. She found herself drawn to the fiery Sam, even getting swept up in it and giving him the best resources. It wasn't until Rick actually left that Elara had a major realization. She couldn't live without Rick. But now she had truly lost him. Thinking about this, Elara covered her face in pain, tears squeezing through her fingers. Her brothers exchanged glances, shocked at how things turned out. Rick's stepbrother, Sam, was a wreck, and dancing was the least of his concerns. Standing up again was a big question. The Wilsons were pressing Elara to finalize the divorce quickly before things got out of hand, so they could arrange a new marriage. Someone needed to inherit the business. 3 days later, Sam took to the internet, exposing Elara's actions, determined to fight her. He posted all the evidence, admitting to being her lover, yet all their boundary-crossing interactions were initiated and accepted by Elara herself. Sam even shared his hospital records with injury assessments. Elara, who was once devoted to her husband, had cheated with his stepbrother, using violence and risking lives. The online world exploded with the news, causing the Wilsons' stock to plunge. Elara's father, in a rage, gave her a few lashes with his belt. Her back was raw, yet she remained unyielding. Finally, her bedridden grandfather spoke up. "Alara, you're terribly wrong. You begged for the chance to marry Rick, yet you didn't treasure it. Now, refusing a divorce is just dragging him down, hurting him again. Sign the divorce papers immediately and handle the company affairs properly. Stop this nonsense." Alara's straight back finally slumped as she lowered her head. She called Mike. "Please tell Rick I'm willing to divorce." Once notified, I arranged my schedule, flying back from France. After the divorce was finalized, Alara and I exited the Civil Affairs Bureau together. In just 6 months, Alara had changed drastically. Although it was early winter, she wore only a wool coat. I recognized it. It was my wedding gift to her. The once elegant and proud woman was now utterly worn. Her once full face was now gaunt, eyes bloodshot, and even her once firm posture was slouched. Alara halted me with a low, raspy voice. "Rick, how have you been?" I chuckled silently, waving the divorce papers. "My name's Frank. Rick doesn't exist anymore." "All right, Frank." Her expression fell for a moment, then a hint of color returned. "Are you staying in M-City? Maybe we could still be friends? Could I come see you sometimes?" "I'm not staying here," I answered firmly, my expression neutral. "We won't be seeing each other again." I turned to walk away, but Alara grabbed my arm. "I know I was wrong, Frank. I know how terribly wrong I was, betraying our vows, breaking your trust. Even my life was saved thanks to you." Alara gave a bitter smile, tears glistening in her eyes. "Can you give me another chance? I promise never to deceive you again. I'll take care of you, and we'll have a lovely child. If you're still hurt, we could start over. You could let me chase you again." "We stopped dreaming, Alara." I cut her off, extinguishing her last hope completely, just like she once cruelly did to me. "There's no future for us. I'll gradually forget you and start a new life." The icy wind blew winter's chill, numbing. Watching her frail silhouette fade, Alara felt a dull ache in her heart. It was her own doing that severed all the love. Once everything settled, I rushed back to Paris to perform in my dance troupe's first show. The piece I danced was La Bayadère, a performance that once slipped from my grasp but captivated my soul. I stretched my arms, rose up on my toes, and danced, losing myself in the music. My movements were fluid and light. As the performance ended, the applause was deafening. I was ushered forward to deliver the curtain call speech. Holding the mic under the stage's dazzling lights, focused just on me, it felt like a dream, being back on the beloved ballet stage. But everything around me was real. This reality brought me to tears. With warmth in my eyes, I flashed a confident, bright smile. I thanked my dance troupe friends, ballet, and myself for daring to start over. I broke free from a binding life, now thriving to show my own brilliance. I forgave all the hardships fate once put in my path. What tasted bitter before now turns sweet.
Helicopter.
I am Frank. From now on, I live for myself alone.
Medic! Medic! Objective Charlie secured. Need the medic!
They overtook the fuck out of that tower.
Capture Delta.
Printer's got it. No, she doesn't.
Our troops are attacking Delta. Be Delta.
You thought, stupid.
We need attack support on the marked objective.